Andy, just want to start off asking about the support you've had the last few weeks or so, because the travelling fans have made a lot of noise, they've come in great numbers. At home they've done that as well, and I suppose going into 2 home games, now's an ideal time to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the backing we've received from the supporters has been great so far. They have a massive role to play in influencing results, even more so at home, I would suggest. We know about the difficulty of Saturday's game, and they've got a massive part to play, again, to influence the result in a positive way.
When you get that, a full Vale Park, or even a half full Vale Park sometimes, when you get that behind you, not just from the players' point of view, but as a management team, do you kind of have to shut that out and concentrate on your job, or can you use that to feed the players?
I haven't been here long enough to notice or be part of a full house, let's say, or even a half full house, but any home support when the team are in a good run of form and good momentum can play a massive part, as I've said previously. So the last couple of games we've had that, whether that's been at Swindon or Scunthorpe or here against Harrogate. So yeah, stick behind the players, stay positive. If things don't quite work out right for an individual player, keep supporting him. Whoever it is trying their best, otherwise they wouldn't be out there, they wouldn't be picked in the first place. So no one means to make a mistake, and sometimes supporters can lift players when they're perhaps not in a good couple of moments. Stick with us. We're all part of the same process. We all want this club to be successful, and we're all trying to play our part in that.
Away results have been good. You've got the 1 home win. It is about kind of cracking that home form now, isn't it? Putting some consistent results together here.
Yeah, I think apart from the Rochdale game, we've been pleased with our performances. There's moments within games which affect results, and I think the previous home games from Rochdale, we could have come down on the wins quite easily. The chances we created didn't quite happen. Thankfully, we came and beat a team who were beaten before they come in Harrogate, convincingly. So with a 2-0 win, and again, it's about building momentum. We've suddenly picked up a couple of results. And it's about being confident, but it's also about not being complacent as well, and making sure that we do the basics required in any game to try and win it.
When you get a top of the table game like this, though, the atmosphere is always great. Again, from a management team point of view, when you go into that, do you get that buzz from playing a team, even at this early stage, who are right up there with you?
I think if you look at the fixtures we've played so far, we've played a lot of teams who are in the top half of the table currently. The league table doesn't mean anything yet, but where we stand, on paper it looks like we've had a difficult start. Orient to start off really well. Really experienced group of players, experienced management team, know what they're doing. They'll be there come the end of the season, in my opinion, no matter what. So a different challenge for us, the ones we've faced over the last few weeks. Different strengths to Orient, so it's something that we've got to be aware of. And if we can nullify those strengths, can they nullify ours?
Just wanted to ask you about the midfield, which over the last 3 or 4 games seems to have settled and dovetailed quite well with the 2 Toms and Ben in there. Yeah. Do you, as a management team, feel that that's a good blend in there, and what have you worked with them to get to this point?
I think that when you recruit the amount of players we did in the summer, it's always going to take time to look at individuals on a daily basis and look at their strengths and also their weaknesses, and can they complement each other. With the formation we've played 3 midfield players in there. These 3 are the ones at the moment who are picking themselves because the performances are good enough, but they also give us, I think, a good variety of skill sets and strengths individually, and they complement each other collectively.
When you look at when you're putting that team together and you're recruiting in the summer, do you look at the individual strengths, or do you look at how well they might work as a team based on how well they worked in that formation?
I think if we had 3 midfield players who all had the same strengths, it wouldn't be a very good midfield. So they obviously have to complement each other. And I'm sure you've all got an opinion of Tom Conlon's strengths and Tom Pett's strengths, Brian Garrity's strengths. They're all different, which gives us something to work with, and I think it complements the way we're currently playing.
David Worrell is also part of that. We mustn't forget him, because he's been a midfielder and forward by trade and now playing a different role. When you have to, if you like, retrain somebody, for want of a better phrase, is that, I don't know, is it difficult? Do you have to kind of get his head around it to get the best out of him when he's out of position?
I don't think it's something we've had to retrain him for. He's an experienced footballer who knows the game. His position maybe has changed 10 yards, but obviously people make a great big thing about formation, and David Worrell might not get enough crosses in the box. David Worrell is still getting in a position to get enough crosses in the box to utilise his strengths. Ruff's asking to play in a slightly different role when we haven't got the ball, but you know, he's a fantastic personality, he's a fantastic person around this place. He's obviously been in the club a long time. Everyone loves the bones of him, and he's a major influence on us doing well at the moment.
Last thing I wanted to ask you about is something you'll know about as an ex-defender, is clean sheets. And you know, we talked to Lucas Coughlin about it. The defenders all talk about the work that goes into doing that. Can you give us a bit of an insight, not giving away the secrets, but how that works, and when you're setting out the team, how important is the clean sheet to try and start off and build from?
I think the clean sheet has to be as important to the centre forward as it is the goalkeeper. Because if they're not doing the job at the top end of the pitch, our next two midfield players are going to be under more pressure, and if they're not doing their job, our back five are going to be under more pressure, and it all leads back to the goalkeeper. So I get the question. If we can keep the opposition down to nil, we give ourselves a real chance at being successful. So we've found a way. We obviously working constantly on different team strengths and weaknesses and what we have to try and nullify. That becomes different every week. But what we have at the moment is a real desire collectively as an 11 and people coming off the bench and impacting the game to stop the ball going in our net. And however that needs to be done, the lads are prepared to do it, and long may that continue.
And as an ex-centre back, do you kind of take pride in that then, that message is getting across, and you know they're working on what was your meat and drink?
Listen, we've all got a role to play. They have to go and implement it when they cross the line on Saturday, because that's when we all get judged, don't we? Or if we win, we must have had a great week on the training ground, and then training must have been perfect, and when you don't win, everything must have been rubbish that week. But it's not quite as simple as that. We're working to a plan to affect performances on a Saturday, Monday to Friday. The players are taking that on board, they're buying into what we're doing. Again, long may that continue.